Hi guys, Steph here, and what we've got for you here is another pen from my recent pen hunting trip. What we've got, some of you will recognise very simply, we've got an Esterbrook fountain pen. This one, obviously you can see it's in this red colour. This particular model is the LJ. Now, very briefly, because I've done you videos on the Esterbrook's before, so if you're interested, go and have a look. But basically, they did three models: the J, the LJ, and the SJ. The J being the fattest one of them all and the top of the range. This one is the LJ. It's the same length as the J, but thinner. And then the one underneath this one is the SJ, which is the same width as this one, but shorter. So this is the middle, if you like, the LJ. As I say, it comes in this red. It's got this sort of pinstriping, and they term it the icicle pattern. So it's in this red icicle pattern. Also, while I'm actually just showing you there, you can see it's got the imprint there is Esterbrook, and then underneath made in England. Now, if you look at the Esterbrook there, there's no registered or the circle with the R next to it, which indicates that this particular model is an early version. So when it's not got the sort of the R next to the Esterbrook, it's indicating it's the earlier model. As I've told you before, the Esterbrook's have got these two black jewels at the end of the cap. All the trim is chrome plated trim. You can see the lever there, it's got this spoon lever again in chrome. And all in all, a beautiful pen. The size of this particular one, from the top of the cap to the end of the barrel, 126mm capped. Around the barrel, around about 11mm in diameter. They brought the J's out around about 1948 through to the 1950s. So we're dating this one late 1940s, 1950s. As I said, it's this striped red icicle pattern. Now, let's take off the cap for you there. Okay, we're giving it a little bit of a twirl. The reason being, I'm actually running out of batteries on my camera, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at that, recharge my batteries and come back again. Now, when I actually got this pen, obviously I restored it, I dismantled it to clean everything inside, etc, etc, put a new sack in it. Now, when I actually looked at the pen, I found something quite unusual that, to be honest with you, I've not actually seen before. So just take a look at this. Now, the reason I found it rather unusual, as I was restoring the pen, before I assembled, etc, well, obviously I cleaned, took everything apart, put a new, as you can see, put a new sack on it. Once I cleaned the pen inside out, one thing I noticed is how much the barrel and the cap are actually quite translucent. Now, you know, as I said earlier, I've had lots of these pens and I've never actually come across this before. Now, what I'm going to do, let me just turn the light off up there, and if I get my little trusty little inspection light like so and prod it, there you go, and you can actually see inside. Well, it should be clear on the video. If I turn it round there, you can actually see the J bar inside. You can actually see the ring there actually holding the clip in the middle of the barrel. So I found it quite unusual that it's actually got a translucent barrel, and if I show you the cap, there you go, you can actually see the inner cap there to the very top. So I actually found this very, well, not strange, but actually unusual that it has this transparency to it. So there you go, so there it is again. So that is why I feel that this particular pen is quite unusual. The transparency in the plastic, which, to be quite honest with you, I've never actually come across before. So okay, so as you can see, so it's a rather unusual pen. So let's just take you up to the nib there. Keep it nice and still for you. You can see it's got a stainless steel Esterbrook nib. Now, this particular one, the model on it is, I forgot what the model is at, what the number is. It's a 9128 made in England nib. Now I believe, well, there's the feed underneath, very recognisable Esterbrook nib, and as we said, you know, you can just simply unscrew these and pop them back on or get a new nib, whatever. But I believe this particular number is actually a flexible nib. Now that's coming from a stainless steel nib. So what we're going to do, for you people I know that like to see pens working, let's dip it in the ink. There we go. We can hear some bubbling, which is what we want to hear. Let me just get over here, get a tissue and just wipe it a little bit, and let's bring on some paper and have a look how it actually writes. Like I say, it'd be interesting to see if it's a flexi nib. So what we've got is an Esterbrook. As I say, this particular model is the LJ. Now, although I'm actually writing with it, it doesn't feel too flexy, to be quite honest with you. It's writing just a little bit on the scratchy side, so let's put a bit of pressure on. Yeah, so if we put a bit of pressure on, yeah, we can get a little bit of variation. So if I do it the figure of 8, it's a little bit difficult. Oh yeah, we get a little bit of variation. It's just in a bit of skipping here and there, but yeah, on a downward stroke you can get quite a broad line. So yes, it is a flexi nib. Not as good as some of the sort of the gold nibs, I think. A little bit on the scratchy side, but apart from that, yeah, it writes fine. So there we go, it's writing with a fine line, and if we put a little bit of pressure on the downward stroke, we can see we've got a bit of variation. So yes, it is a flexi nib, but to be honest with you, it's not as flexy as some of the sort of the gold nibs that I've actually had. I've got a nice gold nib at the moment which I'm restoring. Blimey, you should see the flex on it. Anyway, that's another pen. So there we have it. So I've shown you lots of Esterbrook pens. If you want to go and have a look at them videos, go and take a look at them. The only reason I wanted to show you this one, because as I say, I find it quite unusual that it's got this sort of quite a transparent barrel and cap. A little bit difficult, you can't sort of see it in normal light, but I found it quite interesting. I thought it was quite unusual. Maybe it's a rare pen, who knows? If someone knows about it, send me a message, send me a comment, let's share it with the other people, because as I say, I've had numerous Esterbrook pens and I've never actually seen sort of the transparency like that on any of their pens. So there you go, an Esterbrook L J fountain pen, 1940s, 50s, in this icicle red colour. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen as much as I enjoy showing them to you. Leave a comment, and again, you know, if you know anything maybe about this pen, if it's something unusual or we've got a rarity, who knows, leave a comment. But for now, I'll just say bye bye for now.